I'm at the StoneHouse and I'm about to head over to this far shore. Duckhead comes in, and this is a rocky shore on this far side. And if the fish are here, which I can see an osprey right there, so that means the fish are in the bay. And he looks like he's looking for fish. Well, if he dives, that means there's fish in the bay. So I'll go right over there. They should be moving up and down the shore. And hopefully we'll catch a few. The fishing's been, I talked to some other guys that were coming in earlier, and fishing's kind of cold. Nothing really happening, but the snowstorm that was here I drove over in from Whitefish is gone, so maybe they've started biting. And I'll fish for the last couple hours. I'm going to start with my typical silbooger and olive, and then I'll have a scud on top. And this is kind of shallow over here because he's diving. That's awesome. I'll get some footage of that. But I've shortened everything up because the water's probably not 2 feet deep. So shorten everything up and have about a foot for that lower fly, and then the upper fly about a foot above that, and then the indicator not far above that. So we'll see how it does. Well, that osprey was a good sign that the fish are in the bay, and they are moving, and I just missed one. I looked away for a second, watching some birds fly by, and looked back. I couldn't find my bobber, and sometimes that happens. It takes a second to locate it. Best thing to do is set the hook. I didn't set the hook. By the time I did, he was already starting to spit it out, and I missed him. Oh yeah. Oh, you're kidding me. Sucker. Can you believe that? Yep. We've got too many of these in here, so these get tossed aside. Another sucker. Well, that's not really a good sign, but it's better than catching nothing. And that's 2 less suckers in Duck Lake. There's too many of them to start with, and they eat everything up. But I'll tell you what, I really love this fly. This is the silbooger. Catch anything, but what I love about it is it's very durable. And the more you fish it, the better it gets. Looks like he got one. Yep. I didn't catch him diving, but you could hear him hit. Now he's trying to get off the ground. And there he goes over the StoneHouse. Now the way I've been fishing it so far is the wind's coming out of the north and kind of coming straight into me, but it's a light breeze, no big deal. Cast straight into it and let it drift back this way, and since there's not a lot of wind and waves, I'll strip it and give it just a little bit of motion. That seems to get these suckers to react, but hopefully there's some rainbow in here. I haven't really caught a lot of suckers in this lake. I know they're in here. Sometimes you can see them in a school of 100. Never caught 2 in a row, that's for sure, but finally a rainbow. And of course, he hit that olive silbooger. But not a bad fish. Yep. Probably about 3 feet of water. But I mean, the fishing's not real hot and heavy. They haven't moved into here any numbers, you know. I think there's a few, I can hear them boiling out there, so I know they're here. I don't think that's the suckers, you know. They're not, they usually don't come to the surface as far as I know. So I know there's fish in here. But tomorrow I'm going to be going to Four Horns with my buddy Dave Parsons, or AKA Buckskin, the outfitters and guides here on the Blackfoot Indian Reservation. We're going to fish Four Horns, and they've been catching some big fish, you know, anywhere from 10 to 15 pounds. So hopefully it's supposed to be nice tomorrow. It snowed pretty much all day today, but it's supposed to be nice tomorrow, get up to about 56 degrees, and I think the fishing should be fantastic. So I'll take a... Well, I arrived at the StoneHouse yesterday. It was probably about 1 o'clock, and I'd been here for about 15 minutes and had gotten everything loaded in the house, and I was looking out the front window, and all of a sudden a caravan came pulling over the rise on the road in front of the StoneHouse, and it was a Suburban pulling a 28-foot camper trailer, and then behind that was a 1-ton truck with a horse trailer. In total in the caravan were 10 kids, 1 cow, 2 horses, 6 chickens, 3 dogs, and they had packed everything up they owned, sold the farm, and were going to move to Montana. And this was their first stop. Now, they had seen that on a website that there was 300 acres on the north shore of Duck Lake for $200,000. What a deal, right? Well, there's a reason that hadn't sold for I don't know how many years. It's a very harsh environment. Well, they didn't really think this through, and they pulled the trailer back in there, and it's April 21st, and it's been a harsh winter and a long spring, and they got stuck back in there. And I asked him, I tried not to bother him too much, just tried to help out, but I asked him, well, did they even see the mountains? And he's like, didn't see a thing, you know, it just was blowing wind and snow the whole time. And but they had made their way out, and I guess they hit the last pothole they could hit, and that camper trailer, the front axle snapped, and it just dug into the ground, and there it sits in the front yard. And I went out and spent a couple hours trying to get them unhooked and help them out, and then called a tow truck to get them at least to Shelby and try to get their livestock and the kids somewhere safe. But, you know, you really have to be careful when you come out here. This is such an extreme environment. You know, it looks beautiful on a website, but it can bite you in the butt, and I've experienced that several times myself. You just got to be real prepared. You got to know kind of what you're dealing with, and they didn't. They shouldn't have pulled that trailer back in there. They should have just drove the truck, unhooked, and gone back in there and taken a look at it, and they'd have got a good idea. But they weren't too happy, but I'm sure they'll survive. We got them to Shelby, and from there they can get to Great Falls, and I'm sure it'll all work out for them in the long run. Your mountains are high, your sky's blue, and your rivers are full of fish. Your travel's light, your troubles few, and you received every wish. But when it's time for you to go back home and rejoin the race, your hand may well be waving goodbye, but your heart never leaves this place. It just says good night, Montana, good night. Oh, and turn the lights out on another great day in paradise. Good night, Montana, good night. Oh, you can never say goodbye to her. You can never say goodbye. Just good night.